In this video, I'm going to show you a couple more examples of if statements. So what we've got so far is jOptionPane.showInputDialog is going to open a pop-up window, and it's going to have the question, what's your percent? And I'm imagining that someone's going to type the percent that they got on an assignment. I want to actually look at numbers here. So whatever number they type gets saved as text, and then integer.parseInt is going to convert the text that they typed into a number, which I then save inside percent. So now I'm going to tell them what grade they got. So I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to say, if the percent is larger than 90, then I'll say you got an A. And then I'll say, if the percent is larger than 80, then you got a B. And you could have lots of if statements like that. So let's think about what's going to happen when we run this code. We're going to pretend we're the computer. So let's pretend the pop-up window opens and I type the number 85. I take that text 85 and convert it into the int 85. And then we ask this question, is 85 larger than 90? And the answer is no. So we don't run this line of code. Instead, it jumps down here. Then we hit this question, is 85 larger than 80? And the answer is yes. So it prints, you've got a B. So that looks good so far. The problem is, this code has a bug. It's not going to print what we want it to print in some situations. So let's pretend here I typed 95 as my percent. So we take the text 95 and convert it to an int. And now we ask, is 95 larger than 90? The answer is yes, so it displays you got an A. But then the code keeps right on going, and it says if percent is 95 greater than 80, and the answer to that question is also yes, and so it will print you got a B. So if I type 95, first it tells me I got an A, but then it tells me I got a B. And that's probably not what I want. I probably want it to just display one or the other of those statements. So here's something that you could do. I'm going to cut this if statement, and I'm going to put else. Because you remember, that only runs if the if statement is not true. So if percent is larger than 90, we do this code. If it's not true that percent is larger than 90, we run this code. So I think I only want to test to see whether they got a B if they didn't get an A. So I'm going to paste my if statement here inside the else. So now the way you can think about this code is if I type 95, this question will be true. So it will say you got an A. And then when it gets to the closing brace, it skips everything inside else, and the program ends. If I type 85, it will say, is 85 larger than 90? And the answer is no. So it will jump down here to where it says else, and then it will run this code. And this code asks a follow-up question. It says, is 85 larger than 80? And the answer is yes, so it prints you got a B. Now, this looks kind of ugly because we've got an if statement that's inside our else statement. There's actually a shorter, cleaner way to do this, which I'll show you right now. Instead of having else, you can have something called else if, which will let you ask a follow-up question. So let me cut all of this. So the way you look at this is I'm asking two questions. First I ask, is the percentage larger than 90? And if the answer is yes, then I print that out, and then I don't do anything else. I don't look at what happens after else. I jump down here. If I typed 85, I ask, is 85 larger than 90? And the answer is no, so it goes down to else, and then it asks this follow-up question. It says, otherwise, if this one wasn't true, is it true that percent is greater than 80? And you can have as many of these as you want. So I can ask if percent is larger than 70. and I can say you got a C. And so the way to think about this is you're saying, if percent is larger than 90, do this, and then go to the end. Otherwise, if percent is larger than 80, then do this, and go to the end. Otherwise, if percent is larger than 70, print this, and go to the end. So this is called an else-if chain, because I can have as many else-if statements as I want that are all attached to the closing brace of the previous if statement.